Did you miss me? Good evening, Fancy Meat Computers. How's everybody doing today? Thought I'd get the 2 minutes of nonsense out of the way first, eh? Yeah. So, how's it going? Welcome. This is, yes. Um, this is Mechatronics 2TA4. I think a lot of you, I think majority of you probably had me for 2MP3 last semester, but I'm going to do a poll. How many of you had 2MP3 last semester? Yes or no? There we go. Yeah. Actually, I would say according to those numbers, Labs 1 and 2 did surprisingly well considering there are twice as many people in Lab 3. But yeah, hello and welcome. This is Evening Stream. Welcome to Evening Stream, everybody. So, not all of you have had me before. If you didn't have me last semester, I apologize for the slightly intimidating silhouette of GLaDOS meme that was in the announcements. But, some people took to MP3 last year. Well, in that case, welcome, welcome, welcome. I already called you guys Fancy Meat Computers. So, yes. So about 3/4 of you. That's actually pretty good. That's a pretty good number of people voting. Yeah, we've got like 20 more people voting than we have actually watching the stream. So there you go. Yeah. So we'll get into it. I did finally hit 1,000 subs. Thanks for noticing. Incidentally, if any of you aren't subscribed but would like to be, I always appreciate more subscribers. In particular, sort of due to the nature of the class this semester, it may eventually come to pass that we actually have in-person classes. Maybe. We'll see. I won't hold my breath, but, you know, we'll see. If we do, then I'm going to be recording the lectures and uploading them to the channel anyway. So, embedded Fancy Meat Computers. Yes! True. So, essentially, if you want to get, like, updated when a lecture has gone live, then I would recommend subscribing, because when I just post a recording, I'm not gonna like post it to the announcements feed or anything. I'm not gonna post the link. You're just gonna have to follow the channel. That's how that works. But yeah, it's true. I can monetize now. The paperwork is currently pending. We'll see if they actually give it to me. But yeah. So welcome, welcome, welcome. So this is computer science. This is Mechatronics 2TA4 Embedded Systems Design 1. This is a, yeah, thank you for still recording lectures. Yeah, don't forget the bell. Don't forget to hit that bell, smash that bell. Take a hammer to that bell and destroy it. But, yeah, well, it's interesting, right? Because it's like, one of the things that we're supposed to be, like, improving with respect to the university delivery of courses overall, like a big picture thing, is a thing called Universal Design for Learning. And so there are some people in the class have accommodations, and, you know, because they have various confidential conditions and, you know, stuff. Doesn't matter what it is, but some people really, like, need the lecture material to be in a recorded format, so we're gonna do that. Like, it was easy when it was live streams, because it's, you know, you don't have to do anything to record them, you know. But there you go. So I was wondering what happens if one of us gets sick and can't make it till a lab tutorial time. Well, hopefully that doesn't happen too much, but well, if you're really sick, then it's MSAF. But this is going to be one of the courses that does in-person labs. So thank goodness there's at least something, right? So we'll get into all of the details. I'd like to go over a few important things first before we get into it. So first of all, my name is Nicholas Moore. If you've never met me before, hello. Nice to meet you. I hope to have an excellent semester with you. I have office hours Wednesdays from 3:30 to 4:30. When lectures are in person, I'll be on campus and therefore in ITB 102. Otherwise, I'll probably be on Teams. Just because the way this semester works out, like I don't have my streaming set up at the school, right? So I can't. Well, I might be able to make it back home in that 1 hour, but it'd be tight, and I just don't want to. So if lectures are in person, I'll be in 102. If not, then it'll be over MS Teams. Our laboratory coordinator for this semester is Robert Lee. Email right there. He's in ITB 242. And so far we have 3 TAs. Aaron, who 75% of you will remember from last semester. He was the main Piazza TA. We also have Hemel and Fernando, who are also going to be doing lab stuff. These are going to be lab TAs primarily. So that's all of us. Important websites, the YouTube channel, obviously. That's where the lectures are going to be. When they're, whether or not they're in person, they will be recorded and posted to YouTube. Avenue, lecture slides, gradebook, additional information, and this document. It is your responsibility to regularly check Avenue for announcements / subscribe to the RSS feed. We have a Piazza form this semester as well as last semester, so for those of you who have never used Piazza before, it's kind of like a question and answer. Oh, I get an error when I click that. Weird. Okay. I'll just copy and paste the URL then. There we go. So, Piazza. Oh, I see I have a couple of questions there already. So, Piazza is like a question-answer forum which you can use to ask questions of myself or the grade team, but probably I'm going to be the person looking at it mostly. You ask questions, and I answer them. Boom. There you go. And hypothetically, Piazza will have a reasonably low response time. Also, other students are capable of providing answers to other students using this service, so it kind of, if you want to be sort of a little bit more community-oriented, then Piazza is a great thing. So, yes. We're going to use GitLab for assessment submission. Well, we may not. I haven't decided yet. It would require adjustment from, like last semester they used Avenue, so I haven't decided on that one yet, but those of you who had me last semester will know that's definitely a thing. And, of course, we have a Microsoft Teams link. Good. So we should talk about the whole COVID thing. Are they going to walk us through making a new repo in the first tutorial? Again, I haven't decided yet. You'll see next week. You'll see next week. I make no commitments. No, people were strangely silent. So the pandemic then. So the current direction given by the university with respect to the in-personness of the stuff. Oh, hold that question about snow days. So this is what we're gonna do, right? Pardon me. Getting distracted. Pandemic. So, obviously, before the break, they announced that this week would be online. Subsequent to that, they declared that for second year and above classes, our back to in-person date is going to be February 7th. So, as of the 7th, hypothetically speaking, everything resumes as of normal. So please prepare for the likelihood of that occurring. Whether or not it actually occurs is an entirely different matter, but hypothetically speaking, second year and above classes back to full in-person on the 7th. We'll see how it goes. However, for this class, that's just going to be lectures. There's an exclusion in this policy for hands-on laboratory-based activities, which are more, shall we say, suffer disproportionate impact from an online environment. So, that's... I had a talk with the department, and the labs in this course are going to be in person. So you are going to have to come to the university, and you're going to have to do the labs in the lab times. And that includes tutorials as well. With this class, although it's kind of set up with a, alternating tutorial / lab time, a lot of people over the years have found that it's very useful to take a lot of the tutorial time and give that over to the lab as well. I think that what we're actually going to end up doing is we're going to have 2 hours of lab per week, with a 1 hour sort of chunked out of the beginning of the lab period, as opposed to the tutorial period, for the tutorial type activities, which are not skippable, by the way, because there's a quiz. So, but we'll get to it. So, labs are going to start in person, absolutely. And that's kind of how it goes. If there are any questions about that, let me know. So, speaking of labs and tutorials, there will be no labs or tutorials this week. Labs will start the week of January 16th. The second week of class is a lab week. The third week is a tutorial week, and so on. Am I having technical difficulties? Remove the playlist part of the URL. Yes. Is there a playlist URL? Did I post that on the announcements? The links I posted should be fine. So, for me, Mosaic has a tutorial starting the week of January 16th. Well, I was pretty specific to check that. No, tutorial. Okay. So when I'm saying labs there, I mean like the lab / tutorial component will be starting in the second week. Well, actually, no. Maybe there's an inaccuracy here. Maybe I updated one part of the document and not the other. Yeah. All right. I'll pencil that in to fix. It's accurate in the schedule further down the document. So, one of the interesting things that sort of happened, unbeknownst to us, when the registrar scheduled the labs and the tutorials, for whatever reason, Lab 1 and Tutorial 2 were placed in the same time slot, and Lab 2 and Tutorial 1 were placed in the same time slot. So I don't know why they decide like it. Well, it wasn't a decision. It seems like a typo, right? This looks like a typo to me, but essentially what that means is like people in the lab one slash like if you've got lab one and tutorial one, then you're going to be flopping between the Wednesday 2:30 and the Tuesday. That should be an 8:30. Okay, fine. I'll fix that one too. Jeez. There. So basically, like they've got it swapped, and we tried to get it swapped back, but apparently some people have conflicts. Like that got integrated into the schedule. Frankly, I don't think it makes too much difference who goes to what tutorial. But according to the registrar, you should go to the one that you have been scheduled for. So all of these guys are going to be held in ITB 238. That's going to be the lab room. First lab 0, quote unquote, which is going to be next week, is a lab safety demonstration slash quiz. Then we've got introduction to the STM discovery board, which I've got. Give me 2 seconds. I'll go grab it. So I'll show you guys what it looks like. There we go. So, shouldn't it be 14, 20, and 30? Yes. My goodness. You can tell I was in a hurry when I did this, eh? So, so this is the lab kit, all right? You're going to have to get a lab kit. It's not optional. This is what it contains. So you've got a number of things in here. Instructions, parts list, a number of like different things. This is the board, right? So this is the STM32F429 Discovery Kit. This will be the board that you guys use for... Yeah, this is actually a unboxing video. So this will be the board that you guys use in the labs. Good. There's also various other things in here that will be necessary. There's a breadboard, stepper motor. See, stepper motor. Stepper motor. A fan. Yeah. Various little electronic bits and bobs. Jumper wire kit. Some chips, resistors. Some LEDs and push buttons. And battery packs, more stuff. It's been sectioned up for each lab that you're to perform. So, like, they come in these handy little kit bags, so you know which, you know, you have the parts. You don't have to go digging for them. You just know which parts you use for you know, which lab because of the bag they're in. Also, looks like ribbon cable, but, you know, basically you just peel these apart and use however many of them you need. But yeah, so that's the lab kit, basically. These things have been really difficult to find, but yeah. So this is how we're going to do it. This is how we're going to distribute them, right? essentially, when you go for your labs next week, the lab kits will be there. There'll be a sign-up sheet, and basically you'll sign out a lab kit, and that list of people who've signed out lab kits will be sent to the admin office, and your student accounts will be automatically debited for the amount. They haven't gotten like the I don't know if the price has changed since last semester. I think it was $135 last semester. But we're kind of in a bit of a sticky situation with the things, to be completely honest with you. As Ariel points out, DigiKey only has 10 of these bad boys in stock, which wasn't enough to fill all of the lab kits. We had to look to some small suppliers in Europe to actually get the boards, and they should be arriving this week, and we will be putting them in the kits, and we should have enough kits to give to everybody. Of the two standard suppliers, DigiKey had a lead time on the boards of 53 weeks, and the other supplier said they wouldn't be able to get them to us until June of 2023, which obviously, you might as well just say you don't have them anymore, But well, it's supply and demand, Jim. If there are no boards to be had, then the price of them, So no, you don't have to go to the campus store to get the kits. They'll be distributed in lab. However, it's very important to sort of put it out there. These kits are not being purchased. Well, parts of them are. Like the disposable parts you'll be purchasing, but like the major components, especially the ones that are becoming increasingly difficult to replace, we're going to have to ask for those back at the end of the semester. I wish that we didn't. I wish we could just let you have them. You paid for them, you can have them, sort of thing. I wish. But unfortunately, with the supply issues going the way that they are going, and our increasing inability to even find the darned things, we have to ask for them back. We have to maintain a departmental supply. So then the question becomes, if the labs are in person, why even bother with the kits in the first place? 2 reasons. Number 1, do we get a refund if you return the kits? Yes. Yes, absolutely. You'll get refunded probably most of it, most of the amount that you paid for them. So we don't get refunded when you return them. You do. Yeah. So when you get the kit, they will charge a deposit to your account, and then you'll receive most of that back. I'm not sure what the number is exactly, but it'll be essentially the price of the important big components minus some of the consumable components. Certain things are considered consumable, right? So, stuff like capacitors and resistors and diodes. Stuff like this, right? Capacitors, resistors, diodes, maybe they want the switches back, probably not. The little tiny cheap stuff, that's not stuff that we need or want back, so can negotiations be made? Unfortunately, non-negotiable. But if you wreck the board, you don't get your deposit back. So what if we don't return it somehow, or the components break, etc.? Do you have to pay more? Yes. Yeah. In order to get the refund, you have to keep your equipment in good order, and then return it in good order. Because if it can't be used again next semester, then there's no point, right? Yeah. So then the question then becomes, so why are we even doing lab kits? Um, so there are a couple of reasons we're doing the lab kits, right? Um, I actually wrote all of this in here. Um, so number one, these things are an insurance against a rapid move to online school, right? So if you've got one of these, then neither the changing conditions of the pandemic nor any snow days can prevent you from doing and completing a lab. Power the stepper motor with GPIO. Yeah, please don't. Come on. So yeah. So if school can't be held in person, the lab kit allows you to perform all of the labs in this course without actually having to come into the school. Number two, they allow you to work on the lab exercises outside of and in advance of your designated lab time. GPIO is general purpose input-output pins. We'll cover them in week 3. Ariel is just showing off and knowing about the course before taking the course. So, number 3, every mechatronics student should own a breadboard. It's actually really useful to have like these kind of random electronic parts if you're kind of a hobbyist. But yeah, so you are required to get a lab kit. You will get them in lab next week. Any questions? Well, hopefully even Ariel learns. Hopefully just knowing what a GPIO pin is isn't sufficient to not have to take the course, eh? Although, if you know enough that you shouldn't be powering a motor from them, then probably. Yeah. So, there you go. I'm 1/7 through the textbook. Oh, wow. That's further than I am. So, laboratory exercises. So this needs to be updated a bit. So we will, if we have to pull the labs online, we have the ability to do so, but it seems that we won't have to at this point, so we won't try. For each lab that's in person, you will need a lab partner. That partner must be from your lab section. Some labs have individual components which must be completed individually. Pre-lab submissions also must be made individually. Group submissions will be marked 0. The reason that's for in-person is that if it was online, obviously everybody would be doing it on their own. Good. So labs are primarily scored through the demonstration of functioning embedded systems. Labs will occasionally have pre-written lab components, but there are no post-lab write-ups. It is of great importance that you familiarize yourself with the lab procedure prior to your scheduled lab session. Each lab exercise will be introduced during each scheduled lab session. All demonstrations must be complete by the end of the tutorial session of the following week. I've got it written out here. So this is lab 0, first one. Then lab 1 will be 2 weeks. Lab 2 will be 2 weeks. Lab 3 will be 2 weeks. Lab 4 will be 2 weeks, and lab 5 will be 2 weeks. So there you go. Oh, we're going to talk about flip-flops, actually. Yeah. So, anyway. So let's... I know I've been kind of jumping around this document a bit, but... so, let's talk about what this course is actually about, eh? So, mission statement. So the purpose of this course is to connect theory in design and implementation of embedded systems, as well as interfacing of computer and physical systems. By the end of this course, the student will know and understand the representation of and arithmetic operation of fixed point numbers, hardware and software components of an embedded system, related concepts such as interrupts, interrupt service routines, memory hierarchy, composition of memory, and cache mapping techniques, various interfacing techniques and bus protocols, different standard single-purpose peripherals, so you'll use a few peripherals, timers, counters, A to D and D to A converters, that's analog to digital and digital to analog, watchdog timers, universal asynchronous receiver and transmitter protocol, or UART, pulse width modulation, PWM, liquid crystal display, and stepper motors, everything you need to make your own robot. So, we'll explore the difference between single and general purpose processors. We will discuss the architecture of a general purpose processor, how to program them using C and assembly languages, how to interpret system requirements using finite state machine diagrams, and finite state machine and data path models, and we will learn how to use commercial tools to develop a microcontroller-based embedded system. That board is a microcontroller. So, students should be able to. These are things you should be able to do. Design control paths for a system given its requirements. Implement an embedded system using a commercial microcontroller and related development tools. You should be able to explain various interfacing concepts as discussed in class. Explain the working and use of different hardware and software components. Write interrupt service routines, and explain the role of different peripherals in the design and implementation of an embedded system. So there you go. That's what this course is about. So, evaluation and assessment, what everybody wants to know. Labs are 30%. Quizzes are 5%. Tests will be 25%. By tests, I mean test. There will be one test. And the final examination will be 40% of your final grade. So, there you go. Any questions about that so far? Let's go if I can keep showing off. 2 NAND gates. Yes. Yes. Are the timetable schedules correct? Yes, the timetable schedules are correct. Take-home test. We'll see. I haven't determined that yet. It depends on whether school's online or not. We may be having a traditional test with actual traditional stuff. Do you need a partner before Lab 0? No. You need a partner before Lab 1. Some sections have odd numbers of people and, whatever. You'll figure it out in the lab. I know. Wait, I don't know if you're pleading for in-person tests or take-home tests. Will the test be 24 hours? Yet to be determined. So, if classes are in person and it is possible to book a testing hall, we will have a paper test for the midterm. If classes are online and it is not possible to book a testing hall, we will have an online test, the details of which will be elaborated as the situation evolves. So right now I've got us down for an in-person test and exam. So traditional exams and tests. But again, we'll see how the thing evolves. By traditional, so do you mean writing code on a piece of paper kind of test? Well, see, this isn't really exactly a programming class, and this kind of gets the 24-hour in-person test sounds fun. It wouldn't be, trust me. So this isn't necessarily a programming class. This is more of a conceptual. A lot of the work here is a lot more conceptual. You have to understand stuff about electronics. You have to understand stuff about, you know, the way that an embedded system gets put together. Not all of it is programming, right? You know, that which is programming shall be tested as programming, but that which is not programming cannot be tested in such a manner. So you can expect the test to be probably closer to the type of test that you would have gotten for your like electronics courses that you've taken in the past. But I haven't written them yet. There are lots of practice tests on Avenue, so if you're interested in what the tests typically look like, I would recommend taking a look. Extension and late policy. If you use an MSAF on a laboratory exercise due date, you will need to demo your lab the following week. Any lab write-ups, pre or post-lab, will only have a 3-day extension. Using an MSAF for a quiz will increase the weight of the other 4 quizzes by the weight of the missed quiz. Invoking an MSAF for a test increases the weight of the final exam by the percentage value of the test, i.e. the exam would be worth 65% of your final grade. So think carefully. For the final exam, standard university policy will be applied, i.e. the policy on deferred examinations. MSAFs are submitted through a Mosaic, and if you need more accommodation than the MSAF provides, then please get in contact and we'll work it out. Course timeline. So, our topics in order shall be Introduction, General Purpose I/O, Timers, Interrupts, Digital Design, General Purpose Processors, Serial Communication, Analog and Digital Interoperability, Programming Concepts, Stepper Motors, Operational Amplifiers, Fixed Point Numbers, and Exam Review. Is COVID increasing the number of MSAFs because we might have to isolate if we or your housemates catch COVID? Well, I don't know. That's one of the things that's like that's like one of the things that's in the air right at the moment. The smart thing was to get COVID during the break. I mean, I don't think that necessarily you're wrong about that, to be completely honest with you. Because, you know, having had it, you have immunity from it. So, bing, bang, boom. Yeah, I guess I'm going to have to probably be handing out quite a few MSAFs. But yeah, that's another reason for the lab kits. If you're in self-isolation because of the whole COVID thing, you can still do your labs because of the lab kits. Bing. There you go. Lab kits. Just so long as you actually need as long as you don't have COVID next week, you'll be okay. But yeah. Good. So there we go. That's, you know, so this is according to the registrar. This is according to Mosaic, so this is the official schedule. Tutorials, like next week is a tutorial week, following week is a lab week, and they alternate in that manner. Oh, with the possible, yeah, no. I checked it. I wrote it out. I did a whole chart on this. Look, see? I wrote it down in my notebook. This is absolutely correct. This chart here, absolute correctness. So this also indicates when we're going to have the quizzes. Unless I change my mind. I might change my mind. We have a quiz and a test in the same week. I might flip those to the lab weeks. We'll see. There was a suggestion from one of the TAs that we do that, but I may choose to shift the quiz week. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, the quiz is not long. The quiz should not take you more than 10 minutes. That's the length that the quizzes are designed to be. Quiz means short. It's not like you don't have to write for an hour. So, weekly readings are recommended but not compulsory. The textbook used is this one, Embedded Systems Design with ARM Cortex-M microcontrollers in assembly language and C. 3rd edition. You can get this from Amazon. That's where I got mine. Unfortunately, it is a paperback and not a hardback. I always prefer the hardback ones because you can't do this with a hardback. How are the quizzes delivered and when are they due? They will be, they'll be done in person. So you'll be distributed a piece of paper. You write your answer on the piece of paper and then it's collected. Yeah. Unless you can't make it, I guess. I don't know. We might do like a, I don't know. I haven't figured out if I'm doing it on paper or on Avenue yet. I might do them on Avenue, but this is my first time teaching this course, so it's, you know, a few of the things are still sort of up in the air. You will be given sufficient instruction in sufficient time. So do we use C, C++, or ARM assembly for programming? Primarily C. This book likes ARM assembly. It likes assembly a lot, but generally speaking, we're going to be using C. So they're done in the tutorials. Yeah, generally speaking, the quizzes will either be in the tutorials or in the lab. Yes. Lectures will generally follow this book, though with a different ordering of topics. Am I teaching 2MD3? I am not. I am teaching this course. I'm teaching this course and 1MD3, which is the comp sci course I usually teach. Shell sort in assembly, anyone? Wah, wah. Oh ho, I love our inside jokes. Expression parsing in assembly. How's that? Ha! So, we also have a course pack, which is available through the library eReserves program. Links on Avenue. In general, this is extended and ancillary information. So, if you want to give it a read, give it a read. I'll probably have to give it a read to do the lectures. So there's a link to this on Avenue, so you can get it through there. Let me know if it doesn't work, but email me. Don't let me know right now. So, getting assistance. When seeking assistance, try to do the following things in the following order. First, Piazza Forum. Second, email the TA. Third, if all else fails, email me. Also, I have office hours. Academic integrity. So, last semester, I'm going to say something like the first year class ruined it for everyone else by making me convict literally 3 out of every 10 students of academic dishonesty. Like 30% of the class I convicted. They got official academic dishonesty citations. So I'm going to be watching for it. So don't cheat. If you cheat, I will catch you. And I will give you a 0, and possibly worse things than that. Do not cheat. Obviously, your lab partner, if you're sharing code with your lab partner, that's not cheating because they're your lab partner, right? It's, you know, don't cheat on the test. What class got this academic dishonesty? It was it's Computer Science 1MD3, which is Intro to Programming. It's roughly equivalent to like 1P13. You guys have a first year Python programming class as well. So yeah, it was that course. I don't know why, but they all thought that they could get away with cheating. I blame it on the fact that their entire final year of high school was online, that class. In an exam, assignment, or midterm. All of them. Yeah, no, they cheated on everything. Yeah, no, like, some people cheated on, like, 7 or 8 out of the 13 things we wanted from them. Yeah, some people cheated on the final exam. I have a bet, like, I got, like, I think on the order of 70 people up on charges, and of those, about 10 to 12 are on second offenses, which means that they'll probably just get 0 with transcript notation. Was it like a cheating syndicate? No, that's the interesting thing, is it was like... it's not like I busted like a big cheating ring. It was like a million instances of small time cheating. You know? Um, yeah. Yeah, like, don't make me convict you of cheating, please. How bad was the cheating? Just variable changes? Yeah, like, really, most of the cheating was like, I can't show you any examples, of course, but it was like, you know, student A, student B, same code, but they changed the variable names, or they, like, one took out the other's comments, stuff like that. I had some really, I had some really fun, if it was a big cheating ring, that would make a cool movie. Yeah, that's true. I had some fun ones, which I can probably talk about so long as I don't use any names. There was one instance where, like, there were two functions, and student A copied student B's functions, but, like, mismatched them. So, like, the contents of function 1 went in function 2, and the contents of function 2 went in function 1. You know? But you can have basically the same code as your lab partner. I mean, you can have exactly the same code as your lab partner. It's a partner exercise. The two of you produce one code and submit it. Or one program and submit it. What happens if the whole class cheated? Then the whole class gets convictions. Yeah, and there's no statute of limitations on academic dishonesty inquiries either. Seems like less effort to just do it yourself. Well, you'd think that. But, you know, turns out not so much. But yeah, yeah, it was terrible. There was this one instance where a person actually committed actual crimes to actually steal answers to assignments. A lot of them, too. Just the report has to be different in Lab 5, yeah. So, in the labs, if it expects you to do it individually, it'll say that. So, do that, you know? Actual crimes. Cheating on Python, how are you going to survive C? I mean, this is the thing, right? Crimes? No, essentially what it was is one person broke into someone else's computer on a continuous basis and, you know, violated the integrity of their data. I don't suppose, like, I don't know, like, I guess it's not like something, like, it's not something you could convict criminally, but definitely I'd say you could probably go after them in civil court. But, yeah. Yeah, no, someone actually broke into someone else's laptop to steal their answers to the exam and other things as well. Reminder to everyone, change your passwords. Yes! Change your passwords on a regular basis, folks. But yeah. So yeah, that's, so it's been fun. And by fun, I mean really not a lot of fun. Because it's like, I'm a sessional. I don't really get paid for this, you know? So I'm really, like, prosecuting this academic dishonesty out of the goodness of my own heart, you know? But, no, yeah, like, if they could hack, if they could hack into someone else's laptop, they could do the code. That's not a problem, you know? But yeah, no, that was, like, it was a physical crime that occurred. But yeah. Yeah. So, so that, yeah, anyway. So don't make me convict you, basically. Yeah, anyway, just, I guess the rest of this is just boilerplate stuff. Yeah, you guys have seen this stuff before, so I'll just skip it. Any questions? I kind of wanted to, like, say what an embedded system is. Like, I brought one of my son's toys, and I said, this is an embedded system. This is his little police car toy. And when you press the buttons on it, when it's turned on,
I'm Peyton.
that's an embedded system. So this thing, right, it'll have a memory chip in it that has all of those sound files stored inside of this thing somewhere. It'll have a controller that interfaces with all of the buttons and the power switch and all of the bits and bobs, and it will it'll be running a program. This thing runs a program, and it has a bunch of, like, they're getting kind of clever with these things. Like, if the kid hasn't played with the toy in like a minute, it'll make the thing like play some sound and like flash some lights to get the kid's attention again and stuff like that. But yeah, embedded systems. This is an embedded system. This thing will have a controller not completely indistinguishable from the one in your lab kit. The thing in the back is a speaker. The speaker, you can have speakers that are wired up as peripherals to embedded systems. It's got sensors on the bottom of it that can tell when it drives over stuff. It's got sensors in the wheels that can tell when you're moving the car forward. It's got a button on the side that does stuff, and it's got a button in the front that does stuff, and it lights up. Embedded, like classic embedded system design, right? But yeah, I feel bad for that guy. Yeah, especially because it was like, so I hear you've been cheating, because there's been rather a lot of it, and it's like, excuse me? Wasn't the baby reveal at 1K subs? Yes, but you should check the videos from the end of last semester. Do I happen to have any idea when the university will obtain another virtual machine software license for students, because VMware is gone? What? No! We gotta get on that. I have no idea. Will we be using cameras in our course? No. No. We don't really... Like, a camera is too complicated, basically, is the answer to that question. We're not going to be doing anything with... like, the only thing we're going to be using Universal Serial Bus for is the actual programming of the actual controller. The baby said, no paparazzi, please. Yeah. Yeah, really. Yeah, so, like, the peripherals that we'll be putting into our embedded systems are not... It's not going to be anything that uses USB. The closest we're going to get to that is... well, actually, I'm not sure that we have any parts, now that I think about it. Maybe communicating with the LCD will use one of them. But yeah, we're going to be using UART, and we're also going to be studying I2C, which is another communication protocol. But yeah, so yeah, that's essentially the course. Are there any questions? The EEPROM is I2C? Ah, there we go. Wow, Ariel, you really do know what you're talking about. You want to teach the class? No, I want the money. So you can't teach the class. You can just take the class. Yeah. So, EEPROM, for anybody who doesn't... So this is going to be a course with a lot of acronyms. EEPROM is electrically erasable, rewritable, programmable... Or, no. It's electrically erasable, programmable, read-only memory. EEPROM. I'm pretty sure that's it. I'm just patiently waiting until we get to use the Raspberry Pi from first year again. Ah, yes. Frankly, I don't think there's anything you do in this lab with this controller that you couldn't also do with a Raspberry Pi, to be completely honest with you. But, you know. Such is the way of the world. Yeah. Yeah, in this course, you're going to be obviously you're going to be required to use the equipment that we've put forward. Um, you fried your pie? No, baked it. You baked the pie. There we go. Um, yeah. All right. Well, anyway, thank you very much for your time and attention, folks. I'm gonna go have dinner, and we'll see you on Wednesday. I think, right? I think it's Wednesday. I think this is Monday, Wednesday, Thursday. Yep. Monday, Wednesday, Thursday. Cool. All right. Take her easy, folks.